It was a very, very difficult time. I was a child that was born to two wounded parents. There was a lot of pain in the house. There were a lot of arguments. He was very physically abusive and verbally abusive to the both of us. It was really a difficult and very hard time. So I went under the house and I built this little, put some wood up in between some of the pillars and built this little safe place for me. And I painted it robin egg blue. I had found some paint somewhere, painted it blue, and I would sit in this room and I would let my imagination take me to other places. I would just be somewhere running through grass and trees while I'm listening to all of the pain and all of the heartache up above me in the floorboards. So it was a very difficult time.
I knew that my mother wanted to make me feel safe and wanted to protect me. I knew that she loved me. I definitely felt love from her, but safe and protected, I can't tell you. It's like breathing. It was just always there. There was always tension. There was always hostility. There was always, you never knew which way the wind was going to blow with my father. In the evening, he'd come home and get drunk. Most of the times during the week, because he was working, it was pretty quiet, but the weekends were when the hell would start. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, he would just be a whole other person.
I remember being a kid, about 5 years old. She would take me into the projects with her when she played cards on Friday nights with a bunch of women. Now, these women didn't have more than a 12th grade education, but they were smart black women. They were powerful black women. They had great stories to tell. And I was a 5-year-old kid sitting there on the floor playing with my Matchbox cards, listening to them talk about their men, their relationships, and their pains. And when one of them would get really sad, another woman would come in and make a joke, and they'd all start laughing. I didn't know I was in a master class for my life. I would get home and my father would be beating my mother and doing all kinds of things and saying all kinds of stuff to her, and he would leave the room and I'd walk in and I'd imitate one of those women and she would start laughing. There was a power in that I didn't really get until I got older. I had just started junior high school, and in order for me to get to high school, I had to walk through the drug dealers, literally step over the whores and the drug addicts, walk through a graveyard, then in the next block past gang members, and then go through the projects, and then come to a 6-lane intersection, and it was always busy, but just beyond that was the school. Well, one day as I'm approaching this intersection, I hear this voice saying, "Will someone help me cross?" I said, "I'll help you," in my 13-year-old changing voice. He said, "Well, thank you, son. May I have your shoulder?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Don't trick me now." I said, "No, sir, I won't." We crossed the street. I asked him where he was going. He told me that he was going to my school to sell praline candies to the kids. So I helped him to the school, and he said thank you, and he told me that God would bless me for my kindness. He and I became friends. We took that walk every day. I came out of school one afternoon, and there he was sitting outside in that lawn chair selling praline candies, 25 cents, and I saw one of the kids try to buy candy, right? And they gave Mr. Butler $1, and they told him it was a $5 bill. I stepped in and I said, "Mr. Butler, this is a scam." Needless to say, I had a lot of enemies at that school. But it didn't matter. I was glad to do it. You see, Mr. Butler was one of the first men in my life to see me. And what made it all the more special is that he was blind. He was a point of light. That moment reminded me of my mother, bringing her out of pain into laughter to help her cross.
The thing that I wish for her the most is what I wish for every time I wrote a movie, and one of the characters a black woman who's in a bad situation, or she's being hurt, or she's been abused. It was all subconscious for my mother. I didn't even realize it for a while, because I wanted her to get to worthy. I wanted her to understand that she was worthy of more than what she was living in. One of my favorite ones, which was so powerful to me, is this woman who talked about wanting to commit suicide, and she got her kids together and brought them to a hotel, and she said, "We're going to do anything you want to do." They said, "We want to watch Tyler Perry play." So she went and got a Medea play, played it, and she said by the end of the show, she was laughing and didn't want to die. For me, I got it, man. I knew exactly what I was doing. That is it. Stay that course. Bringing joy and laughter and lifting people, stay that course. I tell people who are in pain, who are struggling, who are trying to get through it, sometimes I can just see it in their eyes. Just keep going one little step. I do believe that to everything there's an opposite. So for all of that pain and hell I was going through as a child, there had to be beauty. And I would challenge anyone who is struggling and trying to figure out what to do, to press on, because whatever this pain was. There is an opposite if you can press to it and get to it.
There are many people in this world that are wanting, waiting, saying, asking, begging, hoping, will someone help me cross? We all have the power to be a point of light.